Da-da-da-dum. Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dum-dum. Da-da-da-da. Da-da. Da-da-da-da. Y'all, I was really quickly, and during this interlude, I was listening to a recording of myself singing Layla Hathaway's Wrong Way, song that I love. And hey, Google, play Wrong Way by Layla Hathaway. Got it. Wrong Way by Layla Hathaway. Here it is on. I love this song. And I did a cover of it, an attempt at a remake. And what was it, 10 years ago? I was like, oh my gosh. It was actually 11 years ago. It was 2012. And right before my 30th, no, clearly not right before. So like I think it was right before my 29th birthday. I was 28. And I actually did a decent job of the song. And it's so unfortunate because I really used to really feel that I did not appreciate my singing at all. Not at all, because I love to sing, loved and love, and I just I didn't see it for myself because others didn't see it for me. But looking back at it, I'm like, I really had something. But then I stopped singing for a really long time and lost a lot of it. Anyway, this video is entitled Heartbreak Myself. Even though she knows she's thin as she opens both her arms to cry. But sometimes, don't you wanna go the wrong way? I don't feel as afraid of holding the map the wrong way, running from everywhere. Okay, well, believe me when I say it was good what I did. But oh well. Um, I try my best to do my best and not. And I think that's also part of my motivation with hashtag Verse TV, Aaron Mack, because I do feel like if I sometimes I wonder if I like where I am though. I like where I am, and I'm like, nevertheless, I wonder if I had pushed differently, could I be a successful singer now, and even potentially with my old singing group and all of that stuff. And I don't know what it's gonna play next, so I'm gonna let it play just to hear. But I like where I am now because I do feel if potentially potentially if I had moved, I love this song as well. But if I had moved a little differently and gotten to become a famous singer, I know I talked with my best friend about singing, and he's like, often People have a choice between being famous or being rich. The two do not always coincide. There are a number of people, unfortunately, and I'm not going to name her because her name doesn't come top of mind. So I'm like, I won't. But particularly one singer who is quite famous right now, like she's in an awful contract. An awful contract. Not only is it an awful contract, but it was reported on. And we actually talked about it on the show some time ago. And it's really unfortunate. And it's like I could have pushed differently and become that famous singer, but might I have ended up in that horrible contract? You know, like with my old singing group, and everybody could sing in the singing group. But it's like, might it have been a situation of because we were so young, as is prime age for entering the industry because people like taking advantage of people. But that's another story. But we were so young, and it's like, I wonder if we would have been like, yeah, you know, we've just got to push through, and we've got to take this awful, horrible, disgusting contract, and we'll make it through. And sometimes people do stuff like that, and they make it through, and they become a success, and they are they have enough power to turn the tables. And I think this is too loud. I hope not. But they have the power to turn the tables and actually take better control of their career in the later part of their career. And things are wonderful at that point. Um, I think that plays a role in why the music industry, part of the reason, the music industry does not like making people celebrities because like they'd rather just cycle through person after person after person. Like you'll notice, it's not like it used to be. You know, like we used to have Whitney Houston, hit after hit after hit. Celine Dion, hit after hit after hit. Mariah Carey, hit after hit after hit. Luther, Luther Vandross, hit after hit after hit. Teddy Pendergrass, hit anyway. But you Alanis Morissette, hit after hit after hit. Backstreet Boys, hit after hit after hit. But the music industry kind of realized when people, I think I've mistitled. I've not mistitled it. I'll talk about it. But when people get to X level of fame and notoriety, they were able to take more control over their career and work with better people, and they know more about the industry, and it's not as easy for them to be taken advantage of. So what the music industry seems like they'd rather do now is just get every single person off the street, give them a hit, be like, oh, I have a number one hit now. What's going to be the follow up? Okay. That's the end of it. You know, all right, let us see. Okay. Anyway, but so yeah, music industry talk 101. 10 minutes of that, followed by however many minutes of Heartbreak Myself, because I I was talking to this dude. Okay, why would it play that by Lettucey though? Talking about I miss you now when I'm talking about this dude that I was talking with online, Plenty of Fish, and his profile very clearly says that he's just looking for people to get to know, to for hang out, which is kind of like normally I would just pass over a profile like that. But in this case, because I was quite attracted to his chocolate, I did click like, and we ended up matching. And part of what had me start to like fall, do the fast fall that I would do in terms of in terms of relation, no, but in his uh message, I was kind of like, I don't, not playing hard to get, but I was being, because like that's silly. I never play hard to get, but I was not taking that much interest, trying to not play with my heart. That was it. I was not playing with my heart because I read his profile, which said that he's just in for people to hang out with. And my profile very clearly states, and this is something I like about Plenty of Fish, but very clearly states that I'm a man looking for a man for marriage. I am looking for marriage. That does not mean that any person that I go out on a date with who's looking for marriage will automatically, hey, we both match on the whole marriage thing. We don't match on anything else, but let's walk down the, no, that's not what it is. But that should go without saying. And because of the fact that Plenty of Fish allows it to be an option, I believe it goes without saying. Anyway, um, I was like, howdy. He's like, hey, or something, or whatever. And ultimately, I asked him the question, so what are you doing? I think I asked it as WID, you know. And he was like, I'm trying to get to know you. And I don't know. And maybe I messed it up because I never want to come across as a gold digger, because I never care how much money somebody makes. But under his conversation starters section, which I would have picked from, he didn't leave it blank, but he said like, y'all are doing it right for me. But it said something like, just ask. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just ask about some stuff in his profile. And interestingly enough, under the job section, it says that he's an owner. So I'm like, okay, huh. And entrepreneur, I guess, because it also says that he is a college graduate. So while in some cases I would receive the owner thing as a, oh yeah, you're an owner and you're a boss, aren't you? I know that's right, you're a boss, you know. But I was like, I wonder what it means from him. So I asked him, I was like, so by the fact that you classify yourself as an owner, are you an entrepreneur, perchance? I didn't say perchance, but I did ask that question, and asked him something else. And while before that, he had been responding to me pretty quickly back and forth, and I was like, oh my gosh, he's really doing something. Let me see. When I asked him about the entrepreneur thing, he didn't respond yet. And I'm like, okay, is it because he thinks I am? See, this is how people think. and I'm doing YouTube videos on this stuff just to show people how people might think. But I'm like, is he not responding as quickly as he had been responding? Because he thinks I'm trying to grub his money. And as I always say on social media, even though that's not on my profile, but I think that would be too much to put on your profile. I never care how much money a guy makes. I don't. And it's interesting because uh, Kevin Samuels talks about, and I'm like, that's interesting. I'm like, I don't want to say the female version of that because I'm not a female, I'm a male. But he'll talk about how men don't care how much money a woman makes. And it's like, while some could say that I am I think I already told y'all that he's short, so that means he's probably a top. He's probably a top. But I am more passive receiving, uh, submissive, I guess, person. And in spite of that, I take the position of I don't care how much money a guy makes. I don't. Um, but as far as in so much as no, yeah, I don't know. He hasn't gotten back to me yet. It is what it is. I'm gonna let this thing charge to 100%. Oh, let me tell y'all what I got. Okay, and we'll see how it works. Oh, okay, yeah, 17 minutes. We're already talking about any and everything, so whatever. But I'm not even throwing that talk about porn that I've been thinking about talking about. But I got a neck air conditioner. It's called what is it? Coolify. I got the Coolify, and because I was particularly interested in the idea of getting it because 2 weeks ago, because lately I've actually been able to walk all the way to the bar, all the way to the barber shop. No, all the way to the bus stop. And I would walk to the bus stop and I was like, oh my gosh, because when I first moved here, I was like, the bus stop is too far for me to walk to. I can't do it. And I was like, well, I'll Uber places um, as I can. And after I've been able to walk to the bus stop, I actually had an exciting adventure catching the bus a couple of weeks ago, a few weeks ago at this point. I talked about that already, I believe. And in catching the bus, I was like, so what I'll do is I can catch the bus down to its last stop, which is just so happens to be the Rapid, which is the what Cleveland, the land, calls its train system. It's called the Rapid, kind of like in DC, it's called the Metro. Um, Here, it's called the Rapid. And if I were to ride that bus all the way to the Rapid and just catch an Uber from there to my barber shop, that would make my barber shop trip, I think, like $7 versus 20 something dollars. So I'm like, that's the answer. I'll do the bus. And one time, 2 weeks ago, when I was walking to the bus stop to catch the bus, okay, I think it's too loud again. Love that song though. But I caught the in walking to the bus stop, it just so happened to be a hot, it wasn't a hot day. It was actually a beautiful, beautiful day with a beautiful occasional breeze when the clouds were covering the sun. But it was one of those partially cloudy days that when the clouds were covering the sun, it was like, oh, it's beautiful, comfortable, beautiful. I love it. But when the clouds were not over the sun, it would make me very hot. And of course, as people, my social media family knows, I have the multiple sclerosis diagnosis. And being out in the occasional heat, it was too much. And I had gotten to the point trying to walk to the bus stop 2 weeks ago so I could catch the bus to then do the Uber. I I got so weak in that heat, so very weak, and I fell. And one time the guys picked me up, and I was like, "Thank you." And I tried to tell them I'm okay. I'm like, I'm okay. I can get up. I'll be able to get up. They're like, Are you sure? Well, let me help you. And I don't want to call her a Karen because I think at this point the term Karen has become such a colloquialism, if you will, of the time. But a for lack of a better term, a Karen stopped her car and saw them helping me. She stayed in her car, and once they helped me get up into my walker, I sat there for a little bit to sort of catch my breath. And not of course, but unfortunately, there was not much cloud covering. So I was just sitting there in the heat. But I was like, okay, I'll get up when I can and I will make that walk across the street. And guess what Karen did? She called the cops on me. She called the fucking cops on me. And not the EMS, because the other people were like, let us call the EMS. Let us call the ambulance and they'll help you. I was like, no, I'm okay. I just need to catch my breath and get it together. But once they got me up and I was like, I'll be okay. She just still sat right there. And I'm like, why is she sitting there? Is everything okay with her? And she told me that, oh, I got something stuck in my hair. I gave her the country accent just to disrespect her, but I don't like disrespecting the country accent because I am also partially from the South. So she's not worthy of that. But she was like, "Oh, I've got something stuck in my hair. I'm just gonna sit right here in the middle of traffic as cars drive around me. Sit with you, keep an eye on you, Karen." And I was sitting in my walker, and she was like, and all of a sudden, as the fucking cops pull up, she pulls off because she was waiting to see how long it would take the cops to arrive. And once they arrived, she was like, "Oh, okay." Fortunately, they were nice, and one of the cops was a gorgeous. Oh, okay, okay, y'all know, okay. He was a gorgeous, dark chocolate brother. Mm, gorgeous. So I was like, even though somebody called the fucking cops on me, at least he's gorgeous. So I can't get too upset. And he was like, well, the least we can do is help you across the street. And I'm like, okay, cool. And Anyway, all of that to say, I completely forgot how I got on this subject for a second. But the reason I got on the subject is because I got a neck air conditioner, because I feel that will help me to not overheat this weekend when I try to walk to the bus stop to catch it to the um, end of the line to catch it to my barber. Anyway, so that's what I intend to do this weekend. But yeah, I'm listening to India Ari's song "Steady Love." Oh man, I could. mm, I don't know how much of that I want to share, but slow and steady. But yeah, I was going to say the cop was so beautiful. It was so beautiful. Like it made it worthwhile. It made it all worthwhile for I wanted to disrespect her again and call her a piglet. But that because Karen is just like there are cool people named Karen. I don't need to disrespect every single Karen by calling this whore by calling this whore a Karen. I also don't want to call her a B though, because my mom was very, very much very pro woman, and she hated how freely people would use the term B to refer to women, and she'd be like, "No, no, no, that's awful. Don't call her a B. She's not a B." You know, so like even in referencing it, I'm not saying the actual term, I'm just saying a B, but y'all know what I mean. So anyway, I won't call her a B, I won't call her a Karen, because there are cool Karens out there. I'll just say the beauty of that gorgeous chocolate man made it worth getting the cops called on me. Getting the cops called on me. The cops, not the paramedics. Even though I said, no, there's no need to call a paramedic. I'm fine. She called the cops. But whatever. She was like, you don't want a paramedic? Well, ho. I almost called myself the B word, which I do. But no, she's ridiculous. Anyway, so I have my neck air conditioner, and interestingly enough, it's supposed to be 76 here this week, Saturday, but there's also supposed to be not a cloud in the sky. It's supposed to be 76 and sunny. And while 76, it's like, oh, that's cool Northeast Ohio weather, life on the lake. It for somebody without my conditioning, that's beautiful, comfortable weather. For me, I just as a concern, I wonder. Anyway, I I don't know what this song is. I love it. Anyway, talk to y'all later, social media family. Peace. VerseTV.com. I'm Aaron Mack. Stay blessed.